Coming up, the blockbuster trade. Of course, we talk about that 4-team trade that brings James Harden over to the Nets to hang out with his and play with his boy Kevin Durant. Then some other news around the league. Kristaps Porzingis makes his debut this season. The Wizards at 3-8, a very disappointing 3-8, even though me and Xavier were very high on them in the beginning of the season. And then me and X-Man play the dating game, NBA expansion version. Xavier acts as the NBA, and I play the 4 eligible bachelors, aka the cities they could go to, and we decide what is the best fit. So here's Kevin Harlan. Here we go.
Posing on the bed. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Taking one for the team here, protecting you. Oh my gosh! Look at the pain. 88 with the triple. Oh, and here comes the Birdman, flapping his wings and soaring for a sweet flush.
Good morning, Xavier.
Good morning, Chris.
We're actually recording in the morning.
Yeah, I just woke up.
Welcome to NBA Breakfast with Chris Madrigal, actually in the morning. And if you're listening to this in the morning, welcome. If you're not listening this morning, you're still welcome, but you're just not as accepted. You're like one of those friends who kind of just joined a group of friends who've been friends like their whole life, and you're trying to fit in. You're trying to find like your niche and try to find like who you connect with the most. And you connect more with the people who listen to this podcast not in the morning, and the people who listen to the podcast in the morning are the group of friends who have been friends for 10 years. So
I just like when people come over to my house to have breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal, and I would like to share it. No, but I haven't had breakfast yet, so maybe someone could come over and have breakfast.
For brunch?
The time is still brunch. Yes,
Yeah.
I might have breakfast in the middle of the pod. Maybe at the break I'll make some waffles.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Yeah, I love waffles. I got those blueberry organic waffles you get at Trader Joe's.
I thought, but Eggo's was an unofficial sponsor.
I know, but I was at Trader Joe's and they don't have Eggo waffles. But like, I'm not gonna make another trip to another grocery store just to get waffles.
Is that the closest grocery store to your house? Is a Trader Joe's?
No,
in San Francisco. No, it's a Whole Foods, right? Isn't it that Whole Foods?
A Whole Foods is the closest, but
we always get beer there, and we always look for cheap beer, and there isn't cheap beer because Whole Foods doesn't have cheap beer. They have good beer, and we end up buying like a good case of beer.
Yeah, bad beer. Good beer, I mean. I like bad beer.
Yeah.
Anyways, and also Whole Foods doesn't have the peanut butter that I like. Trader Joe's has good peanut butter, and so does Safeway. Safeway is like my number 2. Whole Foods is like a solid 3. If you're not counting Costco. Costco's like not like a grocery store, but it is.
It's like a wholesale market.
Exactly. It's a little different. Costco's like a one time a month kind of thing.
I go there like every other week, bro. Because when I'm on the keto diet, like you can just get bulk of meat there, like for so cheap. So like that's kind of what I fuck with.
You ever get the trays they have, like the mac and cheese or like the chicken Alfredo, and you just throw it in the oven?
I just told you that I'm keto, so I can't. That's like an insane
all
amount
right,
of carbs.
you keto now, but like, have you ever?
When
never
I'm
have
not
I
keto.
ever.
Yeah. I do get that shit.
All right, never have I ever had Costco mac and cheese. I guess I can't never have I ever.
Yeah, I don't know if that works because you've done it.
I don't know how to play this game. All right, nobody plays it with me.
Invite me to your parties. Morning banter, which you know what, that can be a new segment when we actually record these in the morning.
It doesn't have to be a segment. We're just hanging out.
But we should get into the big news story of the week because a massive trade happened yesterday, and I'm sure everybody wants to listen and hear about that. Where are you going?
I'm just getting some water.
You're gonna do it in the middle of the recording?
I'm still listening. Keep going.
You're gonna do it in the middle of the recording?
They can't hear that.
Oh, also for the listeners, the reason why we're doing a late episode again this week, and the reason why you see a sling around Xavier's arm is because he hurt himself snowboarding. So that's why he was too hurt to do it early in the week. Because when did you fuck your arm up?
Like Saturday. But I didn't know it was fractured till like Monday.
Yeah, it was a series of uncomfortable, I don't know, days and stuff like that. So that's why
I've been chilling. Like, it's all good. They can't slow me down.
All right, so let's start with our morning coffee, which I coincidentally happen to be drinking right now.
I'm not much of a coffee guy, but we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Morning coffee brought to you by water. It's delicious. It's nutritious. It's water.
All right. So most people who listen to this podcast have heard this already. There was a monster blockbuster trade that happened yesterday. James Harden was traded to the Brooklyn Nets, and there was a 4-team trade. Why it was 4 teams? I have no idea, but it was. The Rockets in this trade, so the teams involved were the Nets, the Rockets, the Cavaliers, and the Pacers. The Rockets received Victor Oladipo, star shooting guard for the Pacers, but now for the Rockets. Dante Exum, small forward. Rodion Kirkus, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I apologize.
I don't know either.
Power forward. 4 first-round picks and 4 draft swaps with Brooklyn in the future. The Cavaliers got Jared Allen, center, and Taurean Prince, small forward. Great haul. The Pacers got Karis LeVert, and that's it. That's the trade. I mean, so many levels to this trade, Xavier. One with the Brooklyn getting the 6th best player in the league, so now they have 2 of the top 10 players in the league and 3 of the top 20.
You don't think all 3 of them are the top 10 or in the top 10?
Kyrie, no.
Why?
Do you want me to name 10 players right now?
He's been injured for a while.
I can name 10 players better than him right now, easily.
Yeah, there are. All right,
Let's do it. No, this will be
No,
fun.
you're probably right.
LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Chef.
Anthony Davis, Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard. It starts to get hard here, but I can hold on. Just give me a second. I can think of these. Nikola Jokic, easily.
Yeah.
And
you can tell me Luka is better than Kyrie?
Luka Doncic. Boom.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He might sneak in there.
Luka's probably top 5, bro.
We'll see. This Nets trade, I didn't see it happening. I did not think Harden was going to go anywhere just because of the pure difficulty of moving him.
But we saw a bunch of rumors over the past week.
I know, but this is what it was going to take. For a massive 4-team trade that's going to send a lot of assets everywhere and things flying. And you don't really know who's the winner of this trade yet. I mean, is it the Nets? Yeah, they got James Harden.
It's not the Nets.
You think it's Houston?
Yes, 1,000%.
They got rid of someone who didn't want to be there.
It's Houston and Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland for sure. Because it seems like they're a team that's ready to surge, kind of rebuilding. Don't have much going on, but pick up 2 assets, especially like Jared Allen, who could really give them good minutes. Who knows, man? They could be a little dark horse in there.
The thing is, there's 2 major contracts that are on their books right now. It's Kevin Love and Andre Drummond, which obviously those guys aren't involved in the Cavaliers' future. I don't think anybody would argue that. But and I think let me see where their contracts expire, because I think it's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, Andre Drummond's contract is up this season. Kevin Love has 2 more seasons after this. Okay, so then that's not done. But it's more about building for the future. So now they have Colin Sexton, who has 2 more years left in his deal. Very good young player, having a lot better season this year. And then they just added Jared Allen to that mix too, who has a contract going for I think 3 more seasons.
You could put up 20 points a night.
Yeah, so you build around those 2, and maybe Larry Nance or something like that, and Isaac Okoro. That's a nice little building block for 2 years down the road, being a competitive team in the Eastern Conference.
They could easily, if not this year, next year, be a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean Jared Allen's only 25 years old.
Yeah, dude's good.
Yeah.
The Nets actually.
Colin Sexton's 22.
The Nets are gonna hurt real bad losing Jared Allen. He was a big part of that team. He really held them together. 8 really good minutes late in the game. Played great defense, and they needed him in the playoffs. It's gonna be kind of weird
So do you want to talk about the Nets side of this now?
Sure.
So you pretty much sell the entire bench for a third all-star or for a third star.
Yeah.
So Spencer Dinwiddie is already out. We talked about that the last podcast. That's a big deal. Kind of leader of that second unit.
And we thought that would kind of make it like a no deal. Like it wasn't going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
With Dinwiddie, yeah.
And you just gave up your best scorer to the Pacers, Karis LeVert, on your bench, who should be a starter anywhere else, but because the Nets are so deep, he was backup. Your only real center on the roster now is DeAndre Jordan, who is years past his prime. Years. He's pretty much only good for rebounds and putbacks, tips.
Yeah. He's a big dude though. He's a pretty big guy. He takes a lot of space down low and can box out.
He doesn't move like he used to though. Jared Allen was
by more athletic guys.
Jared Allen was being a better rim protector for them than he was.
But maybe since he's older and slower, he just needs a little bit more space to get that extra step in, and maybe he'll get that space because there's so many more shooters on the court now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you can hope as the Nets, because losing Jared Allen, like, dude didn't need his space. He didn't need his step. He was gonna fucking put it up on you.
Well, and you gave up Taurean Prince, who was like maybe your 10th man on the bench, but that's a solid 10th man. Like I would love to have him on the Warriors. So now your bench consists of guys. So you pretty much had like a 10 to 11 deep rotation, which is solid. Like that's very good for the regular season, and you could use that definitely in the playoffs. And now your rotation's kind of slimmed down to 7 or 8, maybe. Your key bench guys now are Jeff Green, Tyler Johnson, and why am I blanking? I'm blanking on the last one. But it's not looking good, man. Oh, and Landry Shamet. None of those guys play. None of those guys are bigs either. I mean,
yeah. Do you think?
Tyler Johnson's power forward, but he's small.
Do you think the Nets have become like a right now team who are looking for a championship this year, or it's like championship or bust now for them?
Obviously,
they just give away
Harden's
3 first-round picks.
Harden's locked up for a while though. He extended not too long ago. So
yeah. So do you think it's going to be like one of those Laker things where you have superstars on the team, but they don't have the cap really? So you're going to get a lot of like, minimum players, some vets looking for a ring to just kind of come to a desirable location.
Yeah.
I mean, if you build it, they will come, and they look like they built a big 3.
And I mean, like New York is a nice place to live too, so maybe that helps them attract. But I mean, we're months away from that, talking about that, really. All
right, but let's talk about like how they're gonna work together. Do you think it's gonna work better without Kyrie on the floor right now? Because say Kyrie doesn't play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before Harden, starts.
Think about the two personalities and those two very high ball dominant, very high usage rate guards. Like I don't see them sharing the ball and they're putting their egos aside very easily. I feel like that's going to be an issue. I think
what if one of them starts off the bench?
Kevin Durant's going to be fine. He's a great catch and shooter. He doesn't have to play on ball. He's very versatile, and he doesn't have necessarily as big of an ego as those guys. But
what if you put Kyrie on the bench? He starts with the second unit.
That'll never happen.
Why not? If he wants to be a team player,
he might like I just said,
for the team. I mean,
his ego, like I just said.
You can appeal to him in a different way. You'd be like, hey man,
how would you appeal to Kyrie?
He can still put up as many points as he wants. He's just not going to start necessarily.
And his minutes are going to go down then.
Not necessarily. He could just be longer. He could be on the court longer with the second unit.
That's
the only way to like.
I'm honestly a little shocked that you're making this argument right now.
It's like that's the only way to space the 2 guys out so they're not on the court together as much. Could really help their bench, like by having somebody else like lead that second unit who just lost like a lot of big dominant players in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a bad move if new coach Steve Nash wants to do something like that. Otherwise, how are you going to manage all these?
I'm just telling you that's not going to go over well. It's not. I'm glad
I don't have to have that conversation.
See, you just kind of agree with me by that right there.
But do you agree it's not a bad idea?
No, it is a bad idea because the guys that you have on your bench right now are all guards or wings.
True.
So you want to stack the bench even more with small players? Like, their issue is the big men that they have. They like.
Yeah, I
they're
don't really
very-
know what they're gonna do now. I mean, does Kevin Durant have to play more minutes as a center now?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be kind of cool
I mean, he's
because he
7
could shoot.
foot. Like
He
he
could
can
shoot well.
Yeah. I think the other thing is they gave up 2 pretty good defensive players for a guy who just refuses to play defense.
How tall is Boban? You know, he could just dunk
He's like
without even like
7'5"
jumping off.
or something like that.
He doesn't have to jump off the ground, really, right? Like
Yeah,
like
I
a
mean,
light
his
hop.
wingspan will definitely. Yeah.
Can Kevin Durant do that? Can he just like pop it in there?
I wonder.
I wonder, right?
We
Because
should
he's like
tweet at
7
him.
something.
We should tweet at him and ask him.
Yeah, hey, can you do a no hop jump, a dunk? I mean, he's just like, yeah,
He should Can you send a video of it?
please. My DMs are open at KD Trey 5. What's happening?
That's not. Oh, that's his.
It is right. Easy money snipe. No, that's on
No,
Instagram.
I think his is KD Trey 5. I think that's what. It is.
Yeah, I follow him. That's my
So
I saw him at a restaurant once. KD.
what was he? What restaurant was it?
It was at Cha 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 in the Mission in San Francisco.
What was he doing?
He was in the back, like on a date, and I was having jalapeno margaritas
Was the date
with
with
my
a
sister.
girl or with a guy?
With a girl.
Okay.
And I was having a jalapeno margaritas with my sister, and then like this super tall dude like walks by, and he had like a hood on. I was like, that dude's tall as fuck. And I looked, and it was Kevin Durant. And I was like, oh my god! And I didn't say anything. I was so embarrassed. I just sat there. I was also pretty drunk, so I was like, this is not something I want to. This is not how I want to meet Kevin Durant.
Where's Cha 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 at?
There's 2. There's one like right down the street from my house, and then there's another one in the Mission.
There's a Cha 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 in LA. It's in Silver Lake.
Do they have like a lot of sangria?
It's kind of like tropical vibe.
Hmm.
Like not quite like tiki bar, but kind of.
They got Mexican food. What do they serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if it's the same owner.
I wonder. Yeah.
Is Cha 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 where the new what the elephant or the elbow room used to be?
No, the elbow room is now the Valencia room,
That's right.
and it's exactly the same, except different owners.
Yeah.
But things have to change apparently.
All right. This isn't going out talk with Xavier. Going out in the city. Well, if you want some city tips, Xavier, what's your
city tips?
Gomezica 69. At Gomezica 69.
Why can't we have nice things? Why can't we just go out? I can't wait to go back to the bars.
But you don't drink right now. You didn't you give up drinking for 2021?
I still like going to the bar. It's for the ambiance, you know.
Yeah.
Play some liar's dice with the bartender, you know.
So if you let's say if things open back up because it gets to 80%, like gone.
I'm gonna go to a Nets game when they play the Warriors, so I can see these guys.
And they just open up the bars full on. Would you? And if we went to the bar and I was like, just take one shot, would you take it, or would you be like, nah?
I'd probably be like, nah.
Get you a shot of water instead.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's get back to the trade. Look, it's all great and dandy. They have 3 stars. I'm sure it'll work out in some way, shape, or form. Are they better than the Lakers right now, though? No, because the Lakers have a deep bench that they built in this offseason.
Lakers got better.
Yeah, I don't get this trade. I mean, I get it, but I don't. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if it'll work. I just don't. You get 2 head cases.
I can't wait till the Nets play the Wizards and they lose to the Wizards, just on some freak, whatever, you know. They might even be better than the Wizards, but the Wizards will just somehow like Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook will just both drop 50, and they'll win by like 175 to like 98. Just something ridiculous, you know.
Well, the Wizards are 3-8, so I doubt that'll happen. All right, let's look at the Pacers side of this because we've kind of covered everywhere. Oh, and the Rockets. So the Pacers got Karis LeVert. I think that's.
Dude, the Pacers are good. They beat the Warriors the other night. They're good. They move the ball fast. They have a lot of different people who could score. They're good. So
they're playing really well in general this year, and they look like a very sneaky team. And so I like this trade for them in so many directions. One, Oladipo's made it clear he's not happy. Don't think he was coming back next year. So they were able to flip him for an asset. And he was playing well, don't get me wrong, but he's been hurt the past few games. Has an injury history. Is it worth the risk to keep him for the full year and then lose him in the offseason? No, like let's flip him. Let's get the asset.
Last year.
We're already really good with Brogdon and Sabonis. Like they have proven they can carry this team. We have really good role players and some good depth. The Holiday brothers, Doug McDermott, Miles Turner, and let's add another wing scorer to that mix who's going to get us like 20 a game, who can fit in does like literally everything that Sabonis and Brogdon don't do. So like I love it. I think it's perfect for them.
Yeah, they don't really have like a superstar.
And I think that those three are going to be so solid for years to come. And Miles Turner, those four.
For sure. I think Karis LeVert could definitely like balance out the minutes lost and all the points lost from Oladipo. But they've already shown like last season that they could go to the playoffs and do well in the playoffs. Well, they did get swept by the Heat in the first round.
That was after the bubble, though, and so the bonus wasn't there. He didn't go to the bubble.
This is true. But they still did look like a good team.
Brogdon was trying to carry that team by himself.
Yeah, and they were still like the 4th seed, 5th seed.
Yeah.
That being said, Karis LeVert is good, and he's been good for a while. And it's great to see him on the team. And it's great to see Oladipo out of there because he run it out, and dude's still good. And it sucks for the Pacers. But if he doesn't get hurt and he can put up good minutes in the playoffs, like the Rockets could be better without Harden.
Yeah, I think
probably are now.
I like LeVert so much, so I'm happy that he went to the Pacers because he'll flourish more with them and be like their third guy. But I don't know. Yeah, I like it for both. Let's talk about the Rockets. So they get Oladipo. I think he fits with Wall and Christian Wood like so perfectly. 3 really good guys off the court too. So I think they'll really glue together. And that team was already competitive this year. So like I think we can expect more. The 2 role players they got they're fine, nothing crazy. And they got these picks though. That's the crazy thing about
That's a lot of picks.
So they have a still competitive team this season, if you on paper at least. And you get a lot of picks for the future. I mean, on top of the picks that they got in the other trades this offseason. It's impressive, dude. The Rockets, I mean,
I can't believe they got in such a haul because I was worried. I was like, who's going to want to pick up his contract, James Harden's contract? Because we already saw like the Heat, like they were like, no, we're giving them too much, you know. And Brooklyn, even after losing Dinwiddie, they're like, we don't mind losing too much. They basically gave away their future. Like that's 3 picks in like very close years. That's gonna coming up, and I wonder if that's gonna hurt them. Because say somebody else gets injured. Say what if all 3 of them get injured? Except for I don't think Harden doesn't get injured as often. But what if you lose KD and Kyrie again? Then what? Who are you gonna have on the Nets? It just it seems super risky by Brooklyn, and I mean I don't think Houston is like taking advantage of them per se.
Yeah, but
they got out real lucky on this when they could have been super shafted by a really shitty situation. I thought they were going to bite the bullet and just
regardless of what
Harden
you say,
all season.
Regardless of what you say about Harden's contract and his craziness, personal life, he's still a top 10 player. So I'm not surprised the haul that they got for him. I don't think here's the thing. We're looking at Oladipo as like a major like asset in these trades, but he's not because he has an expiring contract at the end of the year. He can walk and sign with anybody he wants. So it's like that asset, that trade value is so much lower than we actually think, even though he's a good player. Had this trade happened last year, I mean, I don't think they would get that many picks because Oladipo would be a better asset because it's like, okay, cool, we have another year out of him. We can flip the asset next year if we need to. But they don't have that capability this year. They have to ride with him this year and hope that he works with Christian Wood, with PJ Tucker, with Eric Gordon and John Wall. We have to hope that he works with that roster, which I think he's going to be fucking perfect with that roster. You have a bunch of shooters and you have John Wall and Christian Wood. Like, I mean,
Christian Wood is good, man. He's good.
Christian Wood can do everything. I mean, I like that team. I don't like their bench at all, but I like that team.
My little brother told me to watch out for him. Shout out to my little brother Christian. All right, I want to look up who are these guys that Houston got. Dante Exum, who's this guy?
No, wait, what? Oh, I he's just like a small role player. I don't really know too much about him.
Oh, he's Australian.
Oh, is he? It's good to know.
Yep. A whole lot of nobodies.
Yeah.
But, I mean, They're centers, right? No, this guy's a guard.
No, he's a small forward.
Oh, there's another team that we didn't talk about. The 76ers.
Yeah. So there was a lot of rumors that they were going to be involved in a trade, or at least they were talking to the Rockets about a trade involving Ben Simmons. You think that they just didn't want to deal with Morey out of spite? Think they're like kind of like pulling his chain a little bit, or do you think that they just didn't have as much to offer?
I just didn't think the Sixers had much to offer. I don't think they wanted to give up much because they are a good team. And I think they wanted to flip just Ben Simmons. And I think when it came down to it, people were like, I don't know how much value Ben Simmons really has. Because do you think they could have done because where would the Sixers fit in with that trade? Where the Pacers did, right?
Well, I had heard that who was it?
In my opinion, I think the Sixers got replaced with the Pacers because I think they were looking to trade. Which
I don't think they were involved in this 4-team trade. I think it was a separate offer that they were making.
I think there was just a piece. I think there was a lot of pieces that like were trying to get jammed in. I don't think there was going to be a straight trade Simmons for Harden.
Why would the Nets involve the Sixers into that trade when the Sixers are the other team that wants Harden?
I mean, it looked like this is what it had to take to get Harden to move. You had to involve multiple teams to clear up all this cap space all around.
I get that. I think that the Nets had to do that. So the Nets had to configure and work all day to try and get other teams involved so that they can make this trade offer. Like,
yeah, but then what's
significant enough? Hold on, significant enough for the Rockets to take it. But why would the Sixers be like? What if the Nets called the Sixers? Why would they be like, okay, cool, we want Harden, and then Nets would be like, no, we want Harden. You need to take other parts of this trade. They would be like, fuck you, we're gonna call them and make up our own offer. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
No. So they would ship Simmons to Houston and get LeVert and maybe Allen, something like that. You know what I mean? Like they would be a different piece of that trade, and Harden would still go to Brooklyn. Picks would go back to Houston, and then the Sixers would get somebody else in replacement of Simmons. I think they were going to be the Pacers in that situation. You know what I mean? I think they were that piece, and they didn't want to give that up.
That's not what I read from Woj either. Like, and again, that doesn't make sense. Like, they want Harden. That was the guy that they wanted. I don't think they were willing to settle for anyone else.
Really?
So it was Tyrese Maxey. It was the other piece. It was going to be Tyrese Maxey, the rookie that they just drafted, who looks pretty nice, and Ben Simmons, and probably picks. And I guarantee Houston's just like, well, we're getting 4 draft picks and 4 pick swaps in the other trades. So, yeah, we're going to go with that.
Damn, the Sixers blew it then.
Yeah.
Why did they continue to just let everybody down?
I don't know. I kind of like their team as is, though, man. I mean, they're in first place in the East. You think you like them? You like them better with Harden?
I mean, I like Harden better than Ben Simmons for sure.
Yeah.
But whatever. At least they didn't have to give up as much as Brooklyn did.
Yeah, Brooklyn's all in right now.
Yeah, maybe they benefited from staying away from that trade. Brooklyn is so all in.
Yeah,
they could get it. They can get it. They really could get a ring.
I just don't think they're better than the Lakers right now, man. I still don't. I mean, I just
can't
do it.
Lakers didn't have much of a bench last year, and they still won a ring.
Yeah, but now they have more of a bench.
A lot could happen.
All right.
I know. Do you think they're just gonna get eliminated like they did when they were in OKC?
Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's move on. We got a lot more to talk about. The short stack. Okay, so COVID cases are rising around the league. Games are being postponed left and right. Last night we had 2 games postponed. Involving this situation, players just aren't taking it seriously. Kyrie being one of them. Kyrie has been, I think it's under investigation still, but it looks like he's going to be fined quite a bit for not following protocols and just doing whatever the fuck he wants. Apparently there is a lot of video evidence proving that he does not follow the protocols at all. He's very careless. They say the potential fine could be $410,000 per game. So that's going to be $410K out of his game check every game. I don't know, man. I mean, is there a better way they could have done this season without doing a bubble? Obviously, bubble's the best way to do it, but players weren't going to do a bubble again. So, like, was there a better way to do it, Xavier?
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't do another bubble. Like, what changed?
Players didn't want to go. They hated the bubble.
they didn't like that bubble. You could have made a different bubble. You could have made 4 major bubbles in like a major city. Everybody gets hotels. It's a good time. I don't know. I know everybody wants to see their families and everything, but like I think that's a sacrifice you have to make. You get to play in the NBA. You know, you're doing this during Corona.
Yeah, Bill Simmons mentioned this yesterday on his pod when I listened to it. He said like maybe they could have done something where it's like they do 4 bubbles, 4 different parts of the country, obviously. Excuse me. They go there for like 2 weeks, play like 10 games in those 2 weeks, and then they take like a 2-week break so you can go back to your family and visit. And then they gather again, and they just do like 7 versions of that. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I don't know. I feel like that would stretch it out a little bit longer. I feel like that's still pretty risky when you're giving them 2 weeks of freedom and then maybe they come back and they have it or something like that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just think, I mean, I don't know.
I think you have to make more. I mean, it's hard to find people. Be like, hey, if you get a positive case, you have to pay this fine, like because you could just get it randomly. That being said, like
it's not about that. It's about
there's no incentive for people to try to like follow the protocols. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you don't get to play, but you still can't get paid. You know what I mean? And these are all grown men. As the season's gonna go on, like they're gonna do what they want, as they should.
I think the only thing left to do is just to crack the whip, like Robert Goodell or like
Adam Silver.
No, Goodell. Roger Goodell did with the NFL. It's like, all right, well, if you're not going to follow these protocols, then you're gonna, it's on you. So we're gonna crack the whip. We're gonna fine you. We're gonna play these games on no practice, and you're gonna be, like, it's just just saying like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. And these were the rules that set in place, and you guys agreed to them. And if you don't follow them, like your team's going to be the one that suffers. So I think that's the only way you got to go about it now. Like think about the NFL. Like the Raiders played a game against the Bucks, and they were off for 5 days before that. They didn't get to practice for 5 days. They were completely unprepared, and they got their asses whooped. Like maybe that's what you got to do. Like maybe it's like, all right, you only have 6 available players in the roster today. Well, sorry, you got to play with those 6 players.
And they could have made the playoffs with that too. Jeez.
I don't think they're beating the Bucks. The Bucks are a pretty good team, and the Raiders suck. But anyway, that's beyond this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I asked you this before. Like, at what point are they going to shut it all down? More cases. Yeah. I mean, there has been more cases, more than there was ever in the bubble.
Yeah,
and they still haven't shut anything down. I mean, we've already had a couple games postponed. How many games? At a certain point, some teams aren't going to play. Like maybe 10 games less than another team.
Yeah.
How's that going to go how's that going to, match up when they go make playoff runs and they're fighting for like those last spots?
Again, that's on the players and the teams. Like look at the Warriors. Like they've been responsible. No players have gotten COVID since their camp when they reported a camp and it turns out Wiseman and Draymond had it. I mean, Eric Pascal got a negative test the other day, but it was a false negative. The next day he tested positive several times. So it's like, he got a positive test the other day, and then the next day he tested negative. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, and there's other teams that are like that too. Look at the Lakers. Lakers haven't had that issue either. Like the players just need to look. As much as I'm kind of like shaming them, I don't think that's fair because this disease is very fluky. I mean, me and you got it, and we only hung out with 4 other people. Like it was a small little get together, but one of those guys in that small get together had it, and he didn't know he had it. So maybe who am I to judge the way their lifestyle is? But I mean, there needs to be some sense of responsibility for them.
You can spread it to a lot more people when you're playing these games.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, I don't know. I don't think it's that difficult for them to, like, keep it contained.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think they finish the season?
Yeah, they probably will.
Just truck on?
Especially as the vaccine is coming out. Like, if it gets too bad, they'll get the vaccine. The players will all get it eventually. It'll just move that way. And then when that happens, keep going, right? Because everybody's vaccinated, they can't get sick, right?
Yeah, I think we're like 2 months away from it being pretty mass produced, so maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah, and they'll get it.
Honestly,
before we do,
like
at least.
I got about another month and a half left of these antibodies in my body. Like if that means that if the NBA season trucking along means and then cutting the line means that I can watch more basketball, I'm good. because I got about a month and a half left.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just kidding. But kind of serious. But I don't think the rest of the country would feel that way. I think they would want the vaccine first.
Yeah, I think so.
But me and you are good, Xavier. Air 5 through Virtual 5.
Oh, all right.
Nice. All right, so let's move on. Next, pancake on the short stack. See what I did there? Reference.
I like
to
that. I like
more
that. I
breakfast
like
food. What's the short stack fake sponsor?
Oh, shorts. Oh my god, I'm panicking. Anti-anxiety pills. If you find yourself panicking, take a calm breath, pop a pill, and have a glass of water, and then 25 to 35 minutes, you'll sound just as chill as I do.
Was that your AirPods case that you?
All right, don't break the veil of the presentation. Just go with it. Like, what are you doing?
Sorry.
For the listeners and not the people on YouTube, it was my AirPods case.
Yeah,
you blew it.
Sorry.
Solve it.
I ruined the bit. All right. The Wizards are 3-8. What's going
Talking
on
about
with,
Wizards?
What's going on with your Wizards, Xavier? You were high on. We both were.
I wish I had a wizard to stop all this pain in my shoulder and in my eyes from watching this team absolutely get blown out every other night. What's going on with the Wizards, man? I mean, they're doing exactly what I thought they would. They're scoring a lot of points. They're exciting. They're dunking.
Yeah, like Bradley Beal had 60 points like the other night.
And then they just get killed by like really just routine pick and rolls, a lot of backdoor dunks. Like it's bad.
Xavier, I'm kind of more upset with them because we just bought League Pass, so we've just been able to like watch them every night, and they just shit the bed now.
They are so bad. Like, I mean, they just don't play defense. That's really it. If they played a little bit more defense, they would be chill.
You want to know? You want to hear a funny stat?
Mm-hmm.
So Russell Westbrook has a triple-double. I think it was at 6 triple-doubles or something. He's averaging a triple-double this season.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of their wins are games that he didn't score a triple-double.
I told you that last week.
Did you?
Yeah, he was tied with Jokic with 4 triple-doubles.
That's right. You did tell me that.
And they all came in losses.
I read that somewhere else the other day. I forgot that that's right. No, but it continues.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
He had a couple more triple doubles, I think, and it was still in losses. So,
yeah,
that's what I was saying about the selfish triple doubles.
Yes, if he gets a triple double, they're gonna lose. It's almost certain, right?
Yeah. So for those sports bettors out there, if you see Russ is looming around a triple double, you should bet the other side.
Yeah. He's gonna get a triple double tonight. That's a loss.
In some lighter news, Kristaps Porzingis made his return last night.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Let's see how he did. I did not pull those numbers up.
Kristaps. You ever heard that song? Those guys that like from wherever country he's from, and they're like Kristaps.
Latvia.
Porzingis. It's like a rap. Look it up on YouTube. It's cracking.
You want me to look it up right now?
I mean, if you want, but no.
No, I think we're in the middle of a show, so I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Are you excited to have Kristaps back?
I am excited to have Kristaps back, mainly because he's exciting to watch. He's so tall and lanky, and when he shoots that ball, I'm like, it's not going in, and then it goes in like a lot of the time. And you're like, this shouldn't happen, bro. You're not built like this. It's like I feel like this is what like people like in the 70s and the 80s when they were watching like Wilt, or Kareem. You're like, these people are just like so weirdly shaped, and they just like skyhook, and you're like, wow, I'm so amazed. Basketball back then must have been so much more amazing to like regular people because you didn't know what people could do yet.
So that was the greatest explanation of Kristaps Porzingis' game I've ever heard in my life. I love Kristaps because when he shoots the ball, you're like, that's not going to go in. And then it goes in. So last night he had 22 minutes, was 6 for 16 from the field, 4 for 9 on 3-pointer or on threes. So you were right on that one. 16 points. They won. They beat the Charlotte Hornets 104-93. Yeah, I mean that team's going to be so much better with him now. I mean, they were having
good.
to deal with Willie Cauley-Stein at center, which is he's like the softest center I've ever seen.
He was on the Warriors, man. I know.
Yeah. So I mean, Porzingis is soft too, but at least he like is in the right position, like defensively. Like he is somewhat like intelligent in that aspect. Willie Cauley-Stein just gets like dunked on a regular basis. So yeah, and some more scoring, which would be nice. All right. Do you have any more to say about that, or can we move on?
Nah, I like Kristaps. I'm glad to see him back. I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's me knocking on wood. Yeah, I want to see how the Mavs are gonna do for the rest of the season with him and Luka on the floor again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna rule. Good teams.
All right. Next, we're gonna do a rookie update because we love the rookies. Let's start with I want to give a public apology to LaMelo Ball because
you, bro.
Xavier doesn't. Xavier feels the same way. So 2 weeks ago when we had a rookie update, I shit all over LaMelo, but he's been playing pretty nice lately. The guy can't shoot to save his life. His defense is just god awful, but man, can that guy pass. And man, can he find he just finds scoring left and right. And he's productive. Will he be a star? No, but he is a very solid
Will he be a star? No.
but he's a very solid NBA player. He's a starter. He's a good point guard for a team. He helps out his teammates. Yeah. Xavier doesn't feel the same way. It's fine.
I mean,
whatever.
I feel like we're just giving him a lot of credit. He's a rookie. He's playing as good as a rookie is. Is he shining like the other two? Not exactly.
No.
He makes a lot of stupid plays. He's too showy. I don't know. Maybe I just have an indifference towards the Ball family. Actually, I don't. I really like Lonzo, and I like the way he plays. He's got a terrible jump shot, but that's whatever. Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's getting better.
He fixed it a little bit last year, but it still looks ugly.
Yeah, I like Lonzo, so I don't hate the Balls. I don't know. I just need a little bit more out of LaMelo.
I don't hate the Balls. Couldn't help myself.
That's so funny. Yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton and James Wiseman still crushing it. Dude, they have a lot of all-star potential. Both those guys are fucking crushing it. They do so much.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable how good he is and how much the Warriors are like relying on Wiseman. Just love these guys.
People who
Wiseman has no fear, and he'll just take it to the rim whenever possible. And
and he can shoot. He's a center who could shoot. He drains threes.
Knows where to be. Very heads up. Loving him.
Yeah. And defensively, he's getting there. Like Draymond's making him better. He's put him in the right positions, and when he's not, like he's coaching him up and stuff. It's great. Halliburton. So a lot of people who didn't watch college basketball last year, a lot of people were very confused when the Kings drafted Halliburton. Rightfully so. He's a point guard, and people were like, him and Fox are not going to be able to play together, bro. Do they play together or what? Those motherfuckers.
Yes, super well. The Kings look great.
Yeah. And because Halliburton can do everything. Like that's what people didn't understand about him. It's like he can shoot, he can score in so many ways. It's great. Him, Buddy Hield, and Fox are just like so much fun.
The Kings look great in losses too.
Spurts. Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. Some games I'm like, tank, you guys suck. Try to get next year. Other games I'm like, wow, they might have a good run. It's like they're super inconsistent. But when they win really well, and they lose, they're just not making any shots. To go back to LaMelo, I forgot to say triple-double alert.
We'll save that to the end. Save that at the end.
I know, but I wanted to drop it now because I was hating on him.
All right, go ahead.
He had a triple-double against the Hawks the other night on the 9th, and he had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists in a win.
Nice.
So good for you, LaMelo. Way to get your first one of the year. They're important.
Another rookie I want to talk about who's also been playing well, who's in the same tier as Halliburton and Wiseman, is Peyton Pritchard.
You like Pritchard? You've been talking about him for a while.
Yeah, dude, he's like averaging 20 points a game right now. Like he's been filling in for that injured Kemba spot, and like he's been very productive. And they got him at like 22 overall. Like that was a steal, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna be like the Tyler Hero of this draft. Anthony Edwards, he's kind of doing more or less similar to the stat line that we told you guys the other week. It's
pretty consistent.
16
doing
points,
what he can out there in Minnesota.
Rebounds. Yeah. Minnesota's just not a good basketball team, though. So he's, it's just.
Did you see that game last week against Portland? They got whooped. Damian Lillard he went off, scored like 39 points, just kept draining threes all over the place.
Yeah.
But Anthony Edwards he scored like 26 points, which is super fast, in and out, doing what he does. Even like towards the end, was like 3 minutes ago, still playing super hard, even though they're down by like almost 20.
I don't know if he'll be an all-star, but he's a good NBA player.
Yeah, I like when rookies are on like kind of shitty teams, but are gonna get better because like he's just growing with the team, and eventually like he takes over that team. They crush it in the playoffs somewhere. You know what I mean? I love when that happens.
He's got a tough assignment having to play next to Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell because those guys are like. They're terrible defensive players, and they are the all-stars that think that they like never do anything wrong, so they always like blame the other guys. Like watching Karl Anthony Towns like fuck up on a play. Which last night I was watching a game and he fucked up on 2 major plays, and he goes over to the guy, like the player next to him, his teammate, and like just starts like railing into him, like, dude, your positioning was what fucked up that play. You're the one who gave up that massive 3, so don't even like. It's just ridiculous. All right, so with that, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. We have a fun segment coming up in the second half. Xavier is gonna be looking for a partner in matrimony, and we're gonna play the dating game. That's just that's a hint I'll give you. That's very specific but also very broad.
Dating game.
Stay around and we'll be right back.
All right, goodbye.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Xavier is eating breakfast now as we speak.
What's up, everyone? Hey, people at YouTube, here's my waffles.
Nice. Did you put syrup on them?
Yes, I got Aunt Jemima. I got it because I like the sexy bottle.
She is sexy. All right, so let's play this week's segment. Feature segment will be the NBA dating game. Xavier, are you ready for this? So you are going to be the contestant. You will, and the subject is NBA expansion, with a lot of talk about the NBA expansion this past week. I think because of just, I think Brian Windhorst wrote an article about it or something. Also, Bill Simmons talked about it a while ago.
We've been talking about it too.
Yeah, we brought it up.
We have original ideas.
We do. And by the way, which this mentions before we jump into the segment. So remember last week.
Okay.
We did For Real or For Fake.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Bill Simmons yesterday, a podcast that went down yesterday, and he played that game with Ryan Russillo. For real or real or fake.
Get out of town.
I'm pretty confident that he's just listening to our podcast and stealing all of our ideas and making them. See, ours are more funny. His are more like legit and like serious conversations.
And here I was thinking
he's 100%
that was kind of
stealing our ideas.
Yeah, here I was thinking that was kind of like a weak segment. But then Bill goes and does it, and I'm like, oh, I feel totally validated now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So NBA expansion. So Xavier is going to be
the NBA.
He's going to be the NBA, and he is looking for a date for an expansion team. And I am going to play the role of 4 potential cities, aka 4 potential eligible bachelors. And he's going to choose 2 at the end of the game. He's going to ask me questions. Blah 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 blah.
I think they'd be bachelorettes. You know, I'm looking for a city to plant my.
But in the original dating game, it was a guy or a girl looking for a guy. So
okay,
you're a girl
we flip the
situation.
script. All right. Like, here we go then. You leave me no option. It has to be this way.
All right. So, Xavier, take it away.
All right. So, what I'm looking for in an NBA expansion team is somewhere that is exciting, somewhere that has a lot of people, and somewhere that is going to want to bring in a lot of good players who are going to want to play there. So let me ask.
Seems reasonable.
Let me ask, Chris.
Bachelor number 1.
Bachelor number 1. Okay. Bachelor destination number 1.
No, just bachelor number 1.
Bachelor number 1. All right. Does your city already have a sports team?
It does.
It does. And how many?
Technically, it has 2. 1 is coming. Oh no, technically it has 3. Depending on how you want to define a professional sports team, and another one on its way.
Okay. All right.
That is actually no, I'll leave it at that. You have to ask more questions in order to get that answer.
All right. Bachelor number 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Bachelor number 2. If the NBA was gonna go there, a team would need a G League team. Is there already a G League team in your city?
I don't know, so I have to look this up right now.
Oh, that's not good, Bachelor number 2.
Well,
These waffles are smacking. I know I was talking shit about.
Well, it's a large city, and I have a lot going on, so I can't necessarily. There's a lot to do. Oh, I'm giving you too much information. I gotta shut up. There is not
no G League team.
A G League team. In fact, there is no G League team in my city.
Okay. Not a good start. All right. The next question is for Bachelor number 3.
Yes.
If I were to bring an NBA team there, do you have another sports stadium that could be shared with one team and my team?
I do, and I just realized I did the voice of a girl when we established beforehand that I'm the man and you're the woman.
Absolutely no consistency in this bit at all. Keep going.
There is one. There is one, and it's actually built perfectly for basketball already.
Oh, good to know. That's the number 3.
Yeah.
All right. Contestant number 4, Bachelor number 4, whatever. Have you already hosted teams from other sports in your city?
Yeah, I host yearly a NFL NFL regular season game.
Ooh, okay.
One single game every season.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. This question is for contestant number 2. Contestant number 2. Have you ever had an NBA team?
I have, and it was relocated to another city.
And why couldn't you hold on to that team when you first had it?
No one really knows. The owner of that team just decided to get up and leave, even though they had a very strong fan base with and was excelling very well in that market. You could argue that it was the pride and soul of that city for a long time.
Good to know, contestant.
Definitely not anymore. If we were to get this team, it would probably be second fiddle. But
I'm trying to write notes with my left hand, and it's so hard. You should see. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, show me the scribble.
They don't even make sense.
Just yes, no, yaws with the O.
I'm just trying to put like
you're
symbols.
literally just writing.
So I can,
you're not writing specific notes. You're just writing yes and no.
There's like a key. I just like try to remember things that I said. Like I have my reference on the laptop. I don't like. If I was a better typer, this would be so much better for me. I just gave up on typing.
For the listeners not watching the YouTube, he put it up. It's just he has numbers 1 through 4, and it's just yes, comma, no, or yes, no. And there's no specific notes to anything.
Still eating waffle.
What does yes, no mean? It means like Yes, I like this question. No, I like this question. Or I don't like this question.
No, like I have different boxes that need checked, and like, do they check the box? Yes, no.
Okay, all right.
I got my own thing, man.
Okay.
This question. Okay. This question is for contestant number 1.
Okay.
Contestant number 1. Do you think your city will invite a lot of players to want to play there?
1,000%. You could say that this is the entertainment capital of the world.
Of the world, you say?
Mm-hmm. And no state tax.
That sounds like a great place to have.
Oh, wait, no, there is state tax, but it's just not a lot of it.
All right, I got like 2 more questions.
All right.
This one is for contestant number 4.
Yeah.
Is traveling to your city gonna be easy for teams that are all around the U.S.?
No, it will not be easy.
How come?
Well, it's very southern, and it's in a different country. And altitude is not great. And though a lovely city, I would say it'd be hard to find people who would want to live here permanently.
Is there another NBA team in that country?
There's not.
Ooh, okay. I think I know
This
who
would be a
number
new
4 is.
country. This would be a new country.
Oh, okay. I think that wraps it up. Oh no, I have one more question.
You only asked one question to contestant number 3.
Yeah, because I don't like contestant number 3. All right.
Oh damn.
I guess I'll ask my last question. Contestant number 3. I don't like contestant number 3. I'm not gonna ask him any more questions. I'm gonna find out more about contestant number 1.
Okay.
Actually, contestant number 1. If you became a new team and if you became a new team and you got a first round draft pick, what position do you think you would get? What position player do you think you would get?
I think in today's modern day NBA, I would probably try and get a point guard to build a team around, and get assets from there.
Ooh, wrong answer, contestant number 1. I think I'm ready to make my final choice.
Okay, so you get to pick 2. So
I get to
which
pick
one did you
2?
pick? Yeah, because there's 2 expansion teams.
Tits. All right.
You get a nice little freeway.
For sure, I'm gonna pick contestant number 2, which was
Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle was contestant number 2.
Seattle. Totally, they should definitely have another franchise.
Yeah.
Great
that's
town.
automatic that they get one back.
They
Team
already
was stolen from them.
Yeah, the way they've they really rallied around the Seahawks and the Sounders. Because remember, the Sounders weren't really much of an expansion team for the MLS.
That team loves the Sounders.
And now they that city took them in tough.
And they have the Mariners.
Maybe
Mariners are popular there too.
Oh, of course, the Mariners. Who could forget? The Mariners aren't going anywhere. But yeah, they definitely deserve a great basketball team for sure. And number 2, I was my second pick. I was leaning towards city number 1, but I'm gonna go with contestant number 4.
Mexico City was contestant number 4, and I thought that was a reach because you think that out of the country and also the elevation, I don't know if any player is going to want to live in Mexico City. I feel that was a wild card, where contestant number 1 was Las Vegas. I feel like that was another given.
I like Las Vegas. I think there's a lot going on. Eventually, they're going to get a team, but I don't think they're hurting for a team. I think a team in Mexico City would be tight. It would really unify North America. Get a lot more of Latin America into basketball. It's a kind of an untapped market there, really.
Yeah.
Especially without how many basketball teams are in Texas area, so close to the border. And that flight is not so bad. It's 6 hours to fly from New York to SF. You know, and people do that. Was it 5 hours to get to Mexico from the US?
But Mexico City is like, it's Mexico. Like, they don't speak English there. You know what I mean? Very well.
Yeah,
Like,
they do. Yeah, they do.
I don't think it's wide knowledge.
I mean, look
It's
at
not like
Canada. They don't
not
speak
like-
English there that well. They say "hey" all the time.
It's not like going to
How
Europe
about
where
that?
it's not where
How
you go
about
to.
that?
It's not like going to Europe where every country speaks like their language and English. Like it's very like it, I don't think NBA players would want to live there. So I also answered a question wrong when you asked, is there like the franchises, are there already like sports teams in the city? So I thought the Las Vegas Aces were an expansion team for WNBA. They are a team currently right now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. But obviously they have the Raiders and they have the Golden Knights, but also the team that was like on the edge of like whether I was like if it's a professional team or not is the minor league team, the Las Vegas for the A's AAA affiliate, the Las Vegas Gamblers or something like that. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, yeah, there was that too. And the third team that you did not like at all was third city was Vancouver.
No.
Canada.
Also, because Vancouver's so close to Washington, like they could just become whatever Seattle fans.
I don't think it's so easy just to cross the border and go to a game, though. Also, no, you're wrong. I think isn't Seattle pretty southern in Washington? Isn't it pretty south of the state?
Close enough, honestly. Like, a top scoop and jump in my eyes. I'm from California, all right? So 6 hours is nothing.
That's a good point. All right.
Yeah.
No,
I just don't. I mean, Vancouver would be cool, of course. There has like the Canucks and whatnot, but
yeah,
I think it'd be way cooler to have a team in Mexico City.
The
Vegas is a given. Yeah, they're probably gonna get a team eventually. Why not? That's a great market. I don't know why they don't already have one.
Yeah, and they already have a stadium too, or an arena, which is great. So I think that realistically, it's going to be Vegas and Seattle. So the reason why a big thing about the expansion has been coming up in the news lately is because NBA owners are kind of struggling with cash and stuff like that right now. Some of them are, at least specifically like the Rockets are, because he leveraged a lot of his team with a lot of his businesses in order to get those businesses open. And a lot of those were entertainment businesses and he's struggling. So a great way to just get cash immediately in owners' pockets so they can kind of survive this pandemic and stuff like that would be to add 2 expansion teams, because then every owner is going to get like $50 million just in hand, because it would cost. What are you doing?
Nothing, just John. Keep going.
Oh, it would cost a couple $2 billion. They would have to pay the NBA a couple $2 billion to start those teams. So like, it makes sense. Probably add about 2 teams. Yeah, I think we can move on. There's not much more.
People would be down to watch more teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want to learn more about the process and everything, you can Google Brian Windhorst of ESPN's article. He gets more in depth into it. But we just wanted to play a fun little game that involved it.
We didn't really involve, like, there were some other teams that we considered, like in the middle of America. Cities, yeah.
Yeah.
like
St. Louis and
Louisville,
yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, those are all like tough shots. It's Seattle or Vegas.
Xavier also considered Wyoming because it's in the middle of nowhere and there's no team there. But then we looked up the population of Wyoming as a state, and it's only 500,000. So it'd be really hard.
South Dakota, like Bisping or something like that.
Sioux
over
Falls.
There. And they had Sioux Falls. Yeah, they had a huge market. People would love basketball over there. Like, they could definitely put a team there.
Yeah, but they loved a G League team that has like a 8,000 person stadium.
Yeah,
not 25 or
sold out every night.
All right, so let's finish up with games to watch, and then we'll give out some awards. So games to watch this week: Rockets Spurs tonight, Thursday at 4 p.m. on TNT. This could potentially be Victor Oladipo's first game, which is why we put this game on here. Otherwise, this matchup is probably not very competitive. And then the Warriors play tonight against Nuggets. Huge game. We have a really tough schedule coming up, Warrior fans, so be ready for that. 7 p.m.
Warriors.
Friday, Mavericks play the Bucks. Luka versus the Greek Freak on ESPN at 4:30. The Rockets play the Spurs again. So one of those double dips that we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, one of those double dips that we talked about last week. And that if Oladipo's first game is not tonight, it'll be that game on Friday. So stay tuned on that game. That's at 2. Or no, Saturday. Sorry, and that's at 2 p.m. on NBA TV. And then after that, on Sunday, Pacers versus Clippers. We think that's going to be a really good game because the Pacers are playing very well. Karis LeVert will probably play in that game. That is Sunday at 7 p.m. on NBA TV.
I would like to see them beat the Clippers too without Oladipo.
Love that.
Good little statement for them.
Yeah.
To really show that they're still a real deal team.
And for those of you who don't know, Monday is Martin Luther King Day. So happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yeah. And there is a full slate of basketball all day that day, starting at 9 a.m. Magics versus Knicks on NBA TV. T-Wolves versus Hawks right after that, 11:30 on NBA TV. Sunday, Grizzlies versus Suns, 2 p.m. on TNT. Bucks versus Nets right after that, 4:30 on TNT. And then Warriors versus Lakers, big matchup between those two teams.
That's going to be a big day.
Oh, yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
Those are all, so the first two games aren't like fun matchup. They're not like good matchups, like competitive teams, but they're going to be fun to watch. They'll be close games.
Mm-hmm.
The Magic, except for the Magic, they might whoop the shit out of the Knicks, and that's pretty much it. But after that, Suns versus Grizz. I mean, Grizz are playing well without Ja and Jared.
A lot of good, surprising games. A lot of games that I didn't think would be competitive are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Watch out for the Cavs. We didn't put any Cavs on this like lineup of games, but I don't know. I think the Cavs are something to be reckoned with, especially after this trade. They could be more inspired.
Yeah. They're not playing national TV games, so that's why we didn't put them on here.
Because they suck.
Me and Xavier have League Pass now. We just got it a couple days ago. We love it, and I
feel so pretentious when I have it now.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
So I think that's clouding Xavier's mind a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, go watch the Cavs because if I have League Pass, and you probably do.
We can all do it.
Realistically,
everyone can. So. DM me for the login. Oh!
Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that. All right, so we have some awards to give out. Let's start it with you have some DM shout outs. So Xavier, when you posted our episode last week, you said DM me who is the player you hate the most in the NBA, and you'll give him a shout out.
Follow me on Instagram at Gomesica.
And he'll do this every week. When he puts an episode up, he'll put out a question, and if you DM your answer, we'll give you a shout out on the pod.
Yeah, this week's question was, who's your most hated player? And you did not need to tell me why at all. Mm-hmm. The answers were surprising. Oh, yeah? I had some LeBrons, some James Hardens, some KDs, some Kawhis, one Steph, which I was surprised, one Kobe, which I was surprised about too. But there was one overwhelming favorite, and his name was Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
A lot of people were just going out of their way to tell me, yeah, we don't like Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, I don't like him either. He sucks.
He just talks a lot, his mouth a lot. I don't know. I used to really like him, and I wish there was a graph like this. This is me liking Patrick Beverley, and then this is when Russell Westbrook was like, oh, he fooled you guys. All he does is like run his mouth and run around the court, and you guys think he plays great defense. And ever since Russell Westbrook said that, he's played terrible defense. Like, really has fallen off. His age is showing. He's slower now. Sorry, Pat Bev. People don't like you, bro.
Do you want to give out any shout outs to the people who DM'd you or no?
No, they should. I don't want any other players to know that, they were hating.
It's fair.
Keep that to yourself. It's in the DMs. We'll go down in the DMs. It stays down there.
I like it.
Go down.
So do you have any awards this week? I have two.
Yeah, you go first.
So my first one is the Willy Wonka. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
It's just like the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. And that award goes to Danny Green, who was 0 for 9 from the field against the Hawks last week. He was 0 for 7 from 3-point, and they lost 112-94, and he was fucking awful. And what's the one thing that the Sixers, the reason why they got Danny Green in the offseason? To shoot and make threes, and he did not make a single one. And after the game, there was like a post from like a fan in the stadium who like did a video of him and was like, hey, Danny Green, you suck. Like, you didn't make a single shot. And his response was, I got 3 rings, bro. But yeah, that's all good and dandy. But Philly doesn't care about your rings with Toronto and the
San
Lakers
Antonio.
and the Spurs. They do not care about your rings. They need a ring. They want their own rings. And if there's one thing we know about Philly fans is they are obnoxious and they don't give a fuck. So Danny Green, you could say all that all you want, but like you're in a different city now, and Philly fans are intense. You can just ask our friend Bobby, who we will get on this podcast someday, and his just responses to all of our questions will give you a preview of how Philly fans are. They don't put up with shit. They want it. They want their wins, and they want them now.
I hear that. Danny Green.
So you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir.
I thought you were going to give that award to like the 76ers as a whole because they didn't get to be a part of the Harden trade.
No.
But it's still pretty funny that he plays for the Sixers. But Danny Green is like that guy who like does like a really cool trick and everyone's like, oh my God, do it again. And he just can't do it again. Like he had a great year where he was just draining threes in San Antonio and they won a ring. And everybody was like, this guy has great value. Please do that for us. And then every team he went to, he was like, I can't. I think the Cavs tried it.
Yeah.
The Lakers did. They got lucky. They still won one. Toronto, he went there because they were like, oh, we need him. And he didn't really do it much there. He plays good defense sometimes.
He does. So, Xavier, we forgot to do this. Who do you give your what's the fake sponsor for the DM question of the week? That's what we're going to call it, the DM question of the week.
Bush's baked beans. Delicious, hearty, Bush's baked beans. Get them at your local Kroger today.
Okay, cool. What's your, all right, do you have an award?
Yes, I do have an award.
We don't have actual, so for listeners, we don't have actual sponsors, so I always forget, like, it's not like I have set aside time. I don't have a producer in my ear saying, like, you have to give a sponsor now. Take a break.
You have to give a sponsor now.
We don't have, so we just, when we think of them, we throw them in there.
Yes. Okay. Whatchamacallit? I have triple-double awards, but I also have one award.
Triple-double alert.
And it's for, what's his name? What's this guy's first name? His name is Jeremy?
What's his last name?
Chris Boucher of Toronto. Oh. I'm going to give him a Hustle Like a Motherfucker award. All right? This guy, let me tell you.
You know it's hot out here for
I was watching the Raptors because I was like, man, like I'm worried about the Raptors. They're going to suck. They really can't hold their weight lately. And this guy put the team on his back.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm so unprepared for this segment right now. Jesus, what am I doing right now?
Because you're eating fucking waffles before.
Okay, well, yeah, but that was like for comedy.
Food. It's a breakfast food, so I'll allow it. And because you were hungry?
Yeah. Because it's hard out here.
Do you want me to give my second award while you just look this up?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I don't know what you're doing either. All right, so my second word is the, to quote the opening of our podcast, the Kevin Harlan "And No Regard for Human Life" award, which goes to De'Aaron Fox, who had the dopest dunk over Malcolm Brogdon the other day in a game against the Pacers, and he just fucking posterized him. It was a huge dunk that led them to win the game, and it was a steal by Tyrese Halliburton, a 2-on-1. It was Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. You can probably go Google it or something if you want to watch it. 2-on-1 with Halliburton, Fox, or against Brogdon, and Halliburton tosses it up to De'Aaron Fox, and he like jumps from not quite obviously the free throw line, but pretty close, and just fucking hammers down right over Malcolm Brogdon. And De'Aaron Fox had no regard for human life. He just wanted to slam it in his face, and he did, and it was great.
I like that. The Kevin Hart slamming in his face. No regard for human life.
Yeah, not the slamming in his face. It's
just beautiful, though. Just beautiful. All right. My award for Hustle Like a Motherfucker goes to Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors, coming off the bench. Early six-man candidate. Probably not. He scored 20 points in 32 minutes with 8 rebounds, 3 blocks against the Portland Trailblazers. This guy, he was going to the rim. He was attacking, didn't care. You know, going to go up against Enes Kanter. He tried to dunk one, ended up banging it off the rim, but if he would have made it in, it would have been amazing. Would have been on ESPN. Guarding CJ when he can. Dude is playing out of his mind. This is his second year, and he's getting like really good minutes with Toronto. And guys like him who really need to step up. Toronto wants to be any sort of contending team in the East. They're 2-8 right now, but they got Chris Boucher, and I'm digging it.
Pascal Siakam, Lowry, and OG cannot carry that team. They need some help.
But they got Boucher. I'm telling you, this guy's money.
Dig it. So do you have another award, or is that it?
That's it. Let's go to the triple-double awards.
Triple-double, all right, let's hear them.
Woo, woo, woo. Triple Double Awards brought to you by Band-Aids.
Alert.
For that cut, you got to put a Band-Aid on it. All right, Triple Double Awards. Woo, woo. All right.
Was that your phrase the entire time, or did you think you just couldn't you blanked on the spot? So that's where you went.
No. So when I have fake sponsors, I just write them down and I just put like Band-Aid, Bush's Baked Beans, and then I figure it out like on the spot with the catchphrases. Band-Aids, just.
When you get a cut, just put a Band-Aid on it.
That's kind of how it goes, right? Like,
all right, go ahead.
the worst part of getting a cut
is Band-Aid on your butt.
Triple double alert. All right, so I already said LaMelo got his triple double, his first one of the season. Yeah. But here is another one, the second one for the season for my boy. Oh, actually, no, the first one of the season, second one of the season. I'm tripping. For my boy Luka Doncic against the Magic. He had a 20, 10, 10 with a steal and two blocks. Playing out of his mind, of course.
He'll get more with Kristaps.
Yes,
there,
hopefully.
Yeah, he'll dish him.
Going back to that Raptors Blazers game, Siakam also scored a triple double with 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists in that loss against the Trailblazers. And then another one from my man Giannis Antetokounmpo. His third on the season, second of the season, tied with young Luka with the 22-10 and a 10 against the Pistons with a win. Russ is still tied for the most with Jokic with 4, but Jokic has the pleasure of having wins with all his triple doubles, whereas Westbrook has absolutely no wins to pair with his triple double.
Jokic actually makes his teams better, where Russell kind of does, but whatever.
I just like, how are you gonna ball out and make a triple double and your team still loses?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking lame.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we'll end the pod. Well. Thank you for listening this week. Shout out to Xavier's grandma, our #1 fan.
Yeah, hey grandma, how you doing? Call me.
We'll be back next week, hopefully on time. Hopefully Xavier's arm heals.
So this said 7 to 10, so I'll be slinging it. Next
so
episode.
If you are concerned for Xavier, you can send him a DM saying, "Xavier, get better." His handle is at Gomezica69.
Or on Instagram at Gomezica. I dropped a 69 because some girl was like, "Oh, you have a 69 in your Instagram handle," and I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You're lame." So I had to drop it, and I dropped it. And then she was like, "You're not lame anymore." And then we made out. It was great.
You made out virtually?
This is how growing up is. No, this is a while ago actually.
Oh, like you were she was in person with you.
This is pre-Rona.
I thought you meant like she DM'd you, was like, "Yo, why do you have a 69 in your name?"
No. I had met her. She was like, "Here, take my Instagram," because that's the new like exchanging phone numbers. She's like, "I just follow my Instagram," And then she's like, "You have a 69 in your thing, bro. What's going on?" So I guess this is me growing up. I dropped the 69 for my name, but then I gained a 69 in real life. Hey-o. Grandma, stop listening now.
Well, she should have stopped listening before. All right. See you next week. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our podcast feed on all platforms because we're cool and we like
all
basketball.
platforms.
All platforms. Bye. NBA Breakfast is an independently produced podcast as a member of the Bandwagon Fan Podcast Network. It is hosted by Xavier Gomez and myself, Chris Madrigal, as well as produced by us. It is executive produced and managed by me, Chris Madrigal, and additional thanks and producer credit to my brother Larry Madrigal for helping us create the idea of the podcast and designing our logo and graphic. It is sound mixed and edited by me. And one final big shout out to our boy Mitch Maines, who provided music for our theme song. He has some great music. Go check out his music on SoundCloud, Mitch Maines, Maynes. Thanks again for listening, and please subscribe to our channel. We have new episodes coming every single week during the NBA season. Don't forget to tune in next week, and peace.